cooking breakfast on a windy day.
Welcome to Madison's Life Library.
Good one. To my life's library and my quarter life not crisis. All right. I wanted to just talk about the last week and a half. Yes, so we've been on the road for a week and a half, and we did some touristy things like go to Niagara Falls. But anyway, so our original plan was to make it up to Maine kind of as quick as possible, to hang out with Delaney and to see parts of Maine and start in the northeast part of the US and then chase the weather as we go along and everything like that. We didn't really stop any other places to enjoy the scenery on our way up here. We plan on doing that a lot on the way back. It has definitely been a very, very odd transition for me, I would say, from going, not just the traveling aspect of like being on the road, but not having a job and not having much to do besides take care of myself and live, which is very weird for me because throughout my life I've always had a next step to look forward to. And the van was one of those next steps of I had this idea and like got a van and then spent a year and a half to work on it, to save up money with my job, to do all of these things to work towards this goal and this dream. And now it just feels like, what do I do? What do I do with my time? What do I work towards now? Do I completely abolish the idea of working towards something else and just enjoy where I'm at, what I'm doing? It's kind of a life crisis. And I say kind of a life crisis because Austin joked about, well, you bought a van, so that's your quarter life crisis. When I didn't buy the van because I was in a crisis, but now I'm in a crisis because I bought the van. It's been nice to do things and hang out with Delaney, but it feels weird going through this crisis of mine. It's a very odd time. It's very strange. I'm trying to figure it out. I want to. It's difficult. I want to allow myself to be able to allow these weird emotions and these weird feelings to come in and feel them and let them leave. It's just really difficult. My quarter life crisis.
I mean, we can have a conversation now if you want.
All right, you want to ask me questions?
That'll be fun.
Asking me questions?
First question is, would you like some coffee?
Yeah.
I already heard you kind of talk about your quarter life crisis, which you did not want to call it that earlier. But do you want to
go further into that?
Can you elaborate on that? What are some of the things you've been thinking and struggling with in this crisis of yours?
What do I do with my life? I've been in such a place of, all right, gotta graduate from high school, and then now I have this goal of college and all these little projects that I would be doing in college. You know, gotta get through the semester, gotta get through like 4 weeks of this project. Like there was always something to do and something to look forward to. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I started to have a little crisis after graduating in December. Mm-hmm. When in January I was like, what do I do? Oh, I have this idea of getting a van. I'm gonna get a van, I'm gonna fix it up. I did that. Bought the van and I got a job, and the job was, you know, I'm gonna be able to work on myself and spend time reading and doing this and that. I'll be able to save up money for the van. So there's always something to look forward to. There was always another goal. Now it just feels like, what do I do? What's the next thing to look forward to? What's the next step to take in my life? And I think I understand why people get divorced. Because I was thinking about this. I know, completely off topic. Kind of not. But so, think about it. people who go from high school to college, they find somebody in college that they're interested in pursuing, they pursue them, and now because they don't have college anymore, they need to work towards something else. This just like feeling inside them, they need to work towards something else. So this something else is, oh, well, now I need to get engaged to this person. And what's after being engaged? Like, oh, we gotta work towards this wedding. Now we're married. Oh my gosh, like, what do we do next? Sometimes, people realize that they're not meant to be together after they get married because they don't have another goal to work towards unless they want to start working towards kids right away. So there's always something to work towards. Now I'm a hippie living in a van.
You're not a hippie.
Now I'm a granola girl living in a van. What do I do with this time? And like part of me is also like, man, why did I say it like that? Part of me is like, man, now I have so much time to work on my art. But then the whole I still don't feel like I deserve to be happy gets played in there.
It's the first time you brought that up. You want to talk about that?
I've talked to you about that before.
You've talked to me about it before, but it's the first time recently that you've brought it up. Why do you not feel like you deserve to be happy?
I don't know if it's this bad or if it's this wind.
Do you not feel like you deserve to be happy because you don't know how to make pancakes? In the wind?
I don't know how to make you happy. No, like I said before, and I don't know, like I've said before, where there's always been seasons in my life I'm happy, then I'm sad. I'm happy, then I'm sad. I'm never just like content. There's always something on the other end that's the shoe dropping. Like, and I think that I had to like, in our relationship, I realized that waiting for the other shoe to drop with you was a very self-sabotaging thing. So maybe that means that I'm continuing to self-sabotage myself in my life, but like, how do I fix that? I don't want to use the term depressed or like depression because I don't know. Hey, like, can I ask you some questions about like seasonal depression? It's like last year, I would say around this time, I started getting like sad for no reason. Like there's no logical conclusion to why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, because we're out traveling, enjoying life. We have all these things to do and to see and to experience. Like, why am I sad? So she kind of helped answer some questions that I had about that, of like, is what I'm feeling right now something that could be a continual thing for me? Is what I'm feeling right now just a quarter life crisis?
I'm understanding this correctly. There's nothing in particular that you feel you need to like pay for, but it just so happens that sometimes you get sad and sometimes you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think that I've done anything wrong. Like I've worked through things that I feel like I've done wrong. And I don't feel like I have to make up for that in any way. Here you go, here's breakfast.
Thanks.
Me talking about my update now becomes a
Therapist session.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Am I going through a midlife crisis? Quarter life crisis.
I really dislike that definition of figuring things out.
A crisis? Look, she has a yellow jacket.
Yeah, like somebody saying like, I mean, I know that I said it earlier, but it was more of a joke. Like people saying like, oh, like you're going through a crisis. Like, no, maybe these are just the stages that, given the proper environment, the human body and mind goes through.
Is it a midlife crisis? Is it a quarter life crisis? Is it just things that people go through in life?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I'm getting at.
But this is what I'm going through. This is what life has to offer me right now. What are the things to do to get past it? To work towards a new section of my life in a different way. I feel like one thing that we already discussed was like the walking every day and the journaling, like things that I know that I enjoy doing. I like getting my body moving in the morning, and journaling really helps me think through a lot of things. And one of the things that I journaled was for me to set a goal of spending, oh, I didn't do this yesterday. Spending an hour working towards my art. I didn't do that yesterday. I didn't even think about it.
Well,
Kind of, I took photos.
videos.
Yeah. So that can be something for me to like start working towards now, and maybe that will make sense for me.
Okay.
I don't know.
What is it that you hope to gain from doing an hour of artwork every day?
To have something that I can work towards. To have, like, I don't, well, those things, like, I don't have this hierarching goal right now of I want to do this, I want to become this, like, but I know that I enjoy art a lot, and if I can put that into my everyday routine, maybe I'll find something to work towards in that, something that I'm like, wow, I would really like to do this. Like, I love the idea of like creating artwork on the road and like making an Etsy for it and then selling it. Like, I don't think that would create so much to where the van would be jam-packed with artwork, but that would be kind of cool. And by doing something every day, I can find maybe a hierarching goal to work towards. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Hierarching?
No.
Hierarchical goal?
Do you know what a hierarchy is?
Hierarchical.
No.
Cool.
Well, maybe I guess. What kind of art are you interested in doing?
Well, it's been nice to like take photos. It's been nice to edit photos. I forgot that I enjoyed that so much. The good thing is I don't feel like the fear of worrying about other individuals in this. Like, I don't feel a fear in that. I was like, are people gonna like this or not? Like, no, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this experience. I enjoyed taking the photos. I enjoyed editing them and posting them somewhere. And like, I enjoyed that. So instead of like, oh, are people gonna like this? Like, I'm done with that. And that feels really good. It feels like a whole new, fresh sense. I think a lot of it is just the thought process and mindset. Because when I have a lot of thought processes or thoughts of, oh my gosh, what did I do? Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. Oh my gosh, midlife crisis. That doesn't really put me in a good place. And it kind of just like continues to go downhill from there. So like trying to negate the downhill, and if I stay at a medium place, that's fine. But I'd rather stay at that medium place than continue to go downhill, which would then be a whole thing. So I think by taking these preventative actions, maybe I'll still have these thoughts of, oh my God, what am I doing? But then if I'm like, no, like this is what I'm working towards, and like reminding myself every day of it, like that's going to thrust me into something better. Emphasis on the thrust. 3 things to get done every day. Wow, it's almost like I'm making a power list.
Except you're missing 2 things.
Things to start doing. Make a power list. Complete the power list every day. Crush the day!
No, win the day.
Win the day!
Good old Frandy Frisella.
Brandy Excella.
Andy Frisella.
Breakfast is over.
Some guy said
Good.
peace to us this morning.
Yeah.
Peace.
And this is very, very windy.
You want to make bets on my quarter life crisis and whether or not I'm going to go through it? See, I don't think I
No.
will. Well, See, that's, again, I really dislike the phrasing quarter life crisis. Because, like, I am having to come to terms with the fact that I chose this path and I chose to spend time, however long that is, a year or more, to figure out the purpose I want for myself right now. Because it wasn't working for the company I was working for. So, yeah. But I just don't like the word crisis, because it sounds like, oh my God, my life is falling apart. Like, no, I'm just trying to figure something out.
We're all just trying to figure life out.
That's very cliche.
It's true though.
Still cliche.
Thanks for tuning in, listening, I guess. Maybe somebody has also had a life crisis. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I need to find a new word for it. What's my new word? Crisis?
Why don't you just call it life?
Good one. My life is confusing. And I'm working through it.